Okay, looks like we're in.
Took a minute.
Well, yeah, we're having problems on this end. It's a new computer and all sorts of oddities.
Gotta love the internet around here. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How was y'all's Thanksgiving, everybody?
As I told Josh today, it's all I've done is eat in the last several days.
Yeah.
But he didn't take it easy on us, even though I whined.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna do a twisting class today to help get our digestive organs.
Get that turkey thing.
I definitely ate too much of
The wrong thing.
everything bad, yeah.
We continued because actually leftovers.
Well, Grandma sent us cookie cutters. Had to make cookies. Of course, when you make cookie cutter cookies, you want to make like one of each shape, right?
Yeah.
So we had like 24 cookies, and you know, between the three of us, you know.
We were talking about slippery mat.
Uh-huh.
Is this the wrong kind of mat for yoga?
No, this is a yoga mat.
Okay, all right. Oops, I turned it off.
I had to do that too. These like extra, I'll show you the difference here. Because these are the bad kind. Well, bad kind. These are not good for yoga.
Too thick.
And well,
Oh, stretchy.
they're very stretchy. Yeah. Yoga mats won't stretch that much. Maybe an inch or two all throughout the whole mat, but these ones are more for like Pilates or
Okay.
like.
Well, I got this one when I was taking Pilates, but,
Yeah.
and I ended up using their mat. So I never even used it. It's like brand new from them.
Yeah, that's very similar to the ones that I have over here.
Whoops. Now, are you having any trouble with the signals getting picked up? You were, I thought when we first started. Were our other cell phone, signals were interfering with the, maybe it wasn't going on.
I don't know. I guess we'll give it a couple minutes and see if Kathy or Marianne are coming. But it might just be the four of us. How's everybody feeling after your week off from yoga? Anything particularly bugging anybody?
I don't think so. I just feel kind of like I get I just like, you know, I guess I get my patterns of exercise and stuff and I miss it.
Yeah. What about y'all online there? Anything particular bugging you?
No, not really. We did Kathy's senior fitness class on Monday, and it was hard to get into that.
Yeah.
I felt like I'd eaten too much.
Yeah. Yep. Tis the season for eating too much.
Eating the bugginess. Dan says that I'm bugging him, but other than that, it's fine.
I don't know if I can help with that.
I've got a marital issue.
Nothing like a new computer to bring out the worst in us.
I'm bringing my myself into a patient place right now. We had some difficulties with our 5-year-old making good choices tonight. And I did the thing where he's got his school shoes on, but I had been gone all day, and I was like, all right, well, you're gonna come with me and take the dog for a walk. But you can't get in any puddles because you've got your school shoes on. He's like, okay. So within the first 5 minutes, he jumps in a puddle. I was like, I told you not to jump in the puddle. Like, if you decide to do that again, you're gonna get a swatting on your bottom. He's like, no, I don't want to. I was like, okay, well, that's definitely your choice. You can not jump in the puddle, or you can get a swatting. So he did well for a while, and then on the way back, he jumped in a puddle, and I was like, well, shoot, now I gotta follow through. Come here. He comes here and he's all scared and whatever, and I give him a swatting, the same swatting I've always, you know, the handful of times over his small little life that I've had to give him a spanking. And he's at that age. He looks at me. He goes, well, that didn't even hurt. And my parents' voice and all the other parents' voices from around the world channeled through my being. And I'm like, dude. He goes, no. I was like, okay. Never do I want to hurt you. This is a physical reminder because my words are not working.
Even hurt.
I think he had been so overrun with like the fear of a spanking and what a spanking was for so many little years of his life that he never really thought about the fact that it's a small smack on the bottom.
So now he knows it's no big deal.
Oh,
The power of the spanking is gone.
Power's gone. And I remember being that age, and I remember looking at my mom and being like, that didn't hurt.
Oh, what a story.
Well, and you know, you got the kids that are like, oh yeah, I got whooped when I was a kid. And I used to think that was like, oh yeah, I got spanked all the time. And you know, you grow up and you think back and you're like, oh, my parents never actually did any physical harm to me. They just patted my bottom every once in a while and put the fear of God in me. So,
Of course, it depends on the kid too, you know, sometimes just a talking to will just, that would devastate.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, I think Josh and I just talk too much. He tunes out. He's like, oh, I'm done listening now. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. He's also 5. All right. Well, as I dig into my patience, my acceptance of myself as a parent, let's begin with some cleansing breaths. Deep inhales, sitting up nice and tall. And tomorrow is December. Tomorrow is the beginning of what a lot of people will consider the holiday season, although it's already begun with Thanksgiving and all of the cookies. And I digress. Something about December, especially when we have little ones around us, is we think of presents. We have to buy presents. We have to get presents. We're gonna receive presents. You know, we gotta wrap the presents. We gotta, you know, all the things. Presents. But tonight, and in the next few classes that we have together before Christmas and the holidays, and whatever holiday you guys are celebrating, I want you to think of having presence, being present. And the best way that I know how to be present when I'm having difficulties, when I'm being plagued by all of the things of the past, of my day, of my week, of my month, or whether I'm consumed with the thought of getting ready for what's to come. I come back to my senses. We have 5 of them, right? Maybe 6 if you're lucky. And as we sit here, eyes closed, we remove our sense of sight. Maybe if we had just had a little snack or a treat before class, we might have a lingering taste in our mouth. But otherwise, it might be pretty neutral. We have our sense of hearing. We might hear the sound of my voice, or the music, or the sounds of a clock or the building of your surroundings. And we can bring the sense of hearing in. We can think about the sound of our breath. Especially with these nice, slow, long, deep breaths. Everything comes back to the breath in the end anyway. And as we breathe in, we might notice if there's any smell in the air. With our masks, we might notice the smell of our breath from our packed treat or meal. Or we might notice that it's not any type of smell in particular, just a neutral smell. And lastly, we come to touch. We think about how our bodies feel on our mat. We notice the sensation of our hands on our legs. We feel the temperature of the air, not only on our skin, but also as it comes in and out of the body. Feeling the warmth of it as it comes out of the body. Thinking about the air as it comes in through the nose, into the lungs, expanding our ribs, noticing that sensation. And taking a checklist through the body of what might feel a little extra tight or sore or fatigued. Along with all the extra food that we might have consumed over the last week, we might have extra sugar, which makes us slow down, it makes us hold inflammation. Now with all of that in mind, take a deep breath in and gather up any remaining tensions or stresses or frustrations, anything from the past or the future. Gather it up into a ball. As you exhale, let that go and set your intention to be focused and present for the next hour. next exhale, lower the chin down to the chest. Inhale as you slowly start creating circles with the neck. Rolling slowly past one shoulder as you come back. Rolling past the other shoulder as you go forward. Continuing the movement in your own breath. Taking your time on the stiff spots. Stretching the sides of the neck, the back of the neck, and maybe even the front. And switch direction. Inhaling as you roll back. Exhaling as you roll forward. Letting your breath lead the way. Next time the head comes down, keep your chin down to your chest and interlace your hands, placing the hands on the back of the head. Allow the weight of the arms to gently pull the head down. Still sitting tall and feeling the stretch going into the mid-back. And release. Bring the arms up into cactus arms. Palms facing each other, elbows directly out from the shoulders. Inhale as you twist to the left, and exhale as you twist to the right, using your breath to keep the movement going at your own pace. But whatever pace you're going at, what I want you to think about and try to work on is a forceful exhale through the nose every time you turn to the right. Pulling the belly in as you exhale. As your spine begins to warm up, you may feel that you can increase the speed. What this forceful exhale does is it helps to get rid of any of the stale, stuck air from our lungs. Come back to center. Take the hands and place them on the shoulders. Bringing the elbows up, forward, down and back. Continue your circles here, working the shoulder joints. And switch directions. And release the hands back down. This next stretch we've done plenty of times before, but I did it the other day in class, and one of those students goes, I have a love-hate relationship with the stretch. And it is for the hips. From here in your seated position, You're gonna bring your fingertips to the front. If this is a good stretch for you because you have been working your hips or because you're holding a little bit more inflammation today, please feel free to stay here. If you want to take the stretch a little deeper, just walk the fingertips out until you feel a good stretch. I don't want you to come into pain with this, but there should be a slight discomfort with the stretch. Slowly walk the fingers over to one side. You may feel this over to one side. You'll feel the stretch in the low back, perhaps, or in the hips. You may even feel it in the side of the body or the shoulders. And then walk the fingers over to the other side. You may notice that one side is a little tighter than the other, or that you feel it in a different location. Come back to center and walk the fingertips back in. And then switch your legs so that the opposite leg is in the front. Again, start with fingertips right in front of the legs. You may not be able to go as deep as you did on the first side, but go ahead and walk the fingers forward if you feel like you have the room. Walk your hands to one side. I have been having some tightness in my low back and a bit of sciatic issues, which I think all of us deal with from time to time. And the hip stretches like this are really beneficial for that type of thing, because it reaches into the hips, but it also goes into the low back of it as well. Over to the other side now. It can decrease that impingement, that pinch of the nerve. Come back to center and walk the fingers back in. Reach both arms up and take hold of the left wrist. Reach to the right, encouraging the left shoulder back. Feeling the stretch in the side of the body. Back to center to switch sides, taking hold of the right wrist, reaching to the left. Right shoulder is encouraged back. And return to center. Come from here into tabletop, so you can roll over the ankles or swing the legs out to the side. And then just for a little bit of an added hip stretch, we're going to do our circles here. So hips come back towards the heels, deep into one side, forward, other side and back. And you may notice after the stretch that we just did seated that this doesn't feel perhaps as intense as it does normally. Or it might, depending on how you feel today. Again, we're talking a lot about the effects that food have on the body.
Too much pie.
Too much pie. Too much pie for you, too many cookies for me. I ate half of the tin of stuffing because I brought it home and nobody else ate it. You know, such directions. Inhale to reach the right arm up to the ceiling. Take 2 large circles with the right arm. And then inhale as you reach up to the ceiling. Exhale to thread the right arm underneath the left, coming down to the right shoulder and the right side of the head. As you press the left hand into the mat, perhaps even finding your gaze go to the ceiling. This particular stretch is really good for releasing some of the tension in the mid-back. And the mid-back is where our nervous system goes out from the spine and attaches to our digestive organs. Slowly press back up, reaching the right arm to the ceiling. Take 2 large circles in one direction, followed by 2 circles in the opposite direction. And then release the right hand back down. So the mid-back attaching to the organs, that's something that I learned with my chiropractic doctors that I worked for. And if you have digestive issues and you go get adjusted, for example, it can help with so many things. A lot of people would bring their newborn babies in to get adjusted. They'd get their T-spine, their thoracic, adjusted, and the babies would be digesting and pooping before they left the office. It's the same thing for adults. So we stretch these muscles out in our mid-back with these types of twists. We can encourage our organs to be more efficient at digesting our food. Inhale the left arm up. Make 2 large circles with the left. And then inhale as we reach up. Exhale as we thread the left arm underneath right. Coming down to the left side of the head and the shoulder. Pressing into the ground with the right hand. If you have the mobility, you can turn the gaze up to the ceiling. And slowly press the right hand back into the mat, lifting up, reaching the left arm back up to the ceiling. 2 large circles in one direction here, followed by 2 circles in the opposite direction. And releasing the left hand back down. Inhale to look up with the belly dip down for cow pose. And exhale as we tuck the chin and the tailbone in, pulling the shoulder blades apart for cat. Inhale back to cow. Exhale to cat. Continue moving between the 2 poses on your own breath. Come back to neutral. Curl the toes under and press the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Walking your dog once you get there to stretch the calves and the hamstrings. Bringing movement into the feet, ankles, knees, and hips. Working through our joints so that they know what's expected of us. Then come to a still spot in your down dog. Inhale and look between the hands, walking the feet up to the top of the mat.
Exhale as you come down into standing forward fold with the knees slightly bent, allowing the body to hang over the legs. Let the head hang, shaking it gently, yes or no, a couple times to make sure that you're not holding any tension in the neck. Then take hold of opposite elbows, gently sway from side to side in ragdoll. Come to a still place, release the arms, and inhale as you stand tall, reaching up high for upward facing hands pose. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale to reach all the way up. Exhale, slide that down to standing forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to plant the hands and take a big step back with the right foot. Bringing the right knee down to the mat, uncurling the toes in the back. And pausing here to gently bring your body into this stretch in the hips. You may need a moment to allow the body to sink into the hips or to encourage the body forward. Being patient with ourselves often includes being patient with our body. Ground into the left foot and lift into crescent moon lunge. You can bring the arms up, keep them on the legs or at heart center. Bring the hands down to the left leg. Take a deep inhale to lift the crown of the head, bringing the spine nice and tall. And exhale, twist to the left. Using your hands on your legs to help turn you around. Come back to center. Bring your hands down to the inside of your left foot for lizard pose. If this is a good hip stretch for you, you may stay here. If you want to take it deeper, you can come down to your forearms. Now leave the right hand down. The left arm is going to reach forward, up, and around. We're going to do that 3 more times. Forward, up, around. What's that? So the left hand is on the outside of the leg, making these circles. And after that, you're going to bring the left hand back down to the outside of the foot. Lift the back knee and slowly take a big step forward. Exhaling into standing forward fold. After one more breath here, use your next inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale to plant the hands, big step back now with the left foot. Bringing the left knee down, uncurling the back toes. Again, pausing here to allow the body to slowly sink into this stretch. Feeling the stretch on the front of the left thigh into the hip flexor. through the right foot and slowly lift up into crescent moon lunge. Again, you can lift the arms all the way, or you can keep them at heart center or on your right leg for balance. Bring your hands down to your leg. Inhale to lengthen the spine, and then exhale to twist to the right. Back to center and bring both hands down on the inside of the right foot for lizard pose. Again, you can stay here or you can come down to your forearms if you'd like a little deeper of a stretch here. Now leave our left hand down. Right arm reaches forward, up and around. Coming to the outside of the leg for 3 more circles. Sometimes I think I forget how to count when I'm doing this. After your 3rd circle, bring the right hand down to the outside of the right foot. So you've got a hand on either side now. Curl the back toe under, lifting the back knee. Slowly take a step forward. Now for this standing forward fold, I would like you to bend your knees as much as you need to have the hands on the ground, or you can always use your blocks in front of you. What we're going to do is similar to when we walk our dog, but our feet let me rephrase that before I even say it. My feet stay flat on the ground. And I bend one knee deeply and then the other. If your calves are tighter, the heel of your foot might raise, and that's okay. What I want you to focus on here, and this took me a little while to learn, so it's not a natural movement. But as you do this, your hips or your sacrum is going to move, allowing some synovial fluid to come into our lumbar spine. Just bending one knee deeply and then the other. And then we come back to a still spot. And inhale as we stand tall, reaching up to upward facing hand pose. And exhale, hands to heart center. Keeping the hands at heart center. Inhale down into chair. And you can use your chair pose just a couple inches down, or you can come as far as parallel down to the ground. And we're going to bring this into a twist as well. So the full pose has the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. If that's not possible, you can use your hands on the outside of the left leg, just like we did in the previous twist. If your elbow is on the outside of the left leg, your left elbow points to the ceiling, hands are stacked, and we're encouraging the hands closer to heart center. Inhale to stand tall, reaching the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale back down into chair. And exhale to twist to the right. Again, you can use your elbow on the outside of the knee, or use both hands on the outside of the right thigh. Right elbow is pointing towards the ceiling now. Inhale to stand tall, reaching up into upward facing hand pose. Exhale, swan dive down to standing forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back left and right into plank. And release the knees, thighs, and chest all the way down to the mat. With the hands below the shoulders, press the tops of the feet down into the mat to engage the legs. And inhale into Cobra Pose. Exhale into Downward Dog. Inhale the left leg up, opening the hips. Exhale the left foot to the top of the mat in between the hands. Preparing for Warrior Two. The right foot comes down. And inhale as you lift all the way up, reaching front and back with the arms. I'm going to hold this for a few breaths. I want you to bring this foot back towards my foot a little bit more. There we go. Much better. So in Warrior Two, what we want to see is a line from our heel in the front, drawing straight back to either the instep or the heel on the back foot. Bend the left elbow and place it on the left knee. Right arm reaches up and over at a diagonal, as if you're drawing a straight line from the fingertips of the right all the way down to the heel of the right foot. Inhale to come back to Warrior Two. Bring the hands to the hips as you straighten the front leg. And now pivot your feet so that they're pointing to the side of the room. Let your toes point in slightly. Take a deep inhale as you reach the chest forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you. And exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Bringing the hands down to the floor, or you may use a block. If your hands are comfortably on the floor, you can always turn your hands so the fingertips are pointing behind you and walk your hands through the legs. Wherever you're at with this, think about bringing more weight into the balls of your feet. We tend to sit back in our heels because it decreases the stretch slightly. If you walked your hands back, go ahead and bring them back center at a neutral position here. The right hand is going to stay down on the ground at the center, and the left arm is going to reach up to the ceiling. Now switch, bringing the left hand down to the center, right arm reaches up. And come back down to center. Tighten the legs, tighten the belly, bring the hands back up to the hips, and inhale as you stand tall. Pivot the left foot so the toes are pointing back to the top of your mat. Bend the left knee back into warrior two. Reach front and back briefly. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale, bring the hands back down. Bring the foot. Stepping back into plank and lowering all the way down to your mat. Inhale into cobra pose. And exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up to the ceiling, opening the hips. And then exhale the right foot to the top of the mat in between the hands. Ground the left heel. And inhale up into warrior two. Terry, it looks like you're getting a little bit further up with your steps. So that's a progress.
Maybe, I feel totally stiff today. It's all that sugar.
Oh, yeah.
You said that.
My biggest thing, I am stiff, but my biggest thing is I feel fatigue. My muscles are very tired. And they're wondering why I'm doing this. Bend the right elbow, place the right elbow on the right knee. Left arm reaches up and over to diagonal. Again, we're drawing a straight line from the left fingertips all the way through the left leg to our heel. Inhale back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Bring the hands to the hips. Pivot the feet so they're pointing the side of the room. And this time, we're going to let our toes point slightly out. Take a deep inhale. I'm going to turn this way so you guys don't have to look at my backside. Take a deep inhale and reach the chest forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then release that squeeze. We're not coming into a forward fold. We're actually going to come into a brief squat. I won't keep you here long because, like I said, my muscles are fatigued. I'm guessing you guys are too. So we're going to inhale and then exhale down, letting the legs reach open as wide as possible here. And come back up. We'll do that one more time. Take a deep inhale. Exhale down. And come back up. Now take a big step to the top of your mat. And our balance pose today is a little bit challenging, so I would recommend coming over to the wall. You're going to want your strap. So we're going to begin with our strap around our right foot, balancing on our left. Now here's the tricky part if you are going to be using the wall or something to balance. The strap is around the right foot. You're going to be holding the strap with the left hand. So you may want to position your right side towards the wall or whatever you're balancing on. Okay. So we've got the strap around our right foot. Left hand is going to hold on. Then we bring our foot up as we balance on the left. And we try to walk our hand up the strap if possible. Eventually, our left hand will hold the foot. Right hand, if it's not holding on to something, can rest on the hip or be out to the side. Now we're going to bring the right foot across. Watch myself struggle with balance. We're going to bring the right foot across the body. Now you might feel this same stretch from when we're laying down. We do this stretch when we're laying down a lot. And this helps to stretch the outside of our right leg. So we're still keeping our torso twisting to the right. Our leg goes over to the left. Slowly bring the leg back to center and release. This one is one that I'm focused more on the stretch for you guys than the balance. We'll be doing a balance focused pose right after. Left foot now. So we put the strap around our left foot. And we're going to prepare to hold the strap with our right. Balancing with our right foot. The left foot comes out. Left hand is balancing on something or on the hip. And then we bring the left leg over across to the right. Keeping our bodies and our right toes pointing forward while our leg crosses over. And relax. Okay. Now we'll do one more thing. In this one, I want you to try to focus on your balance. So if you're using something to help you today, think about maybe holding on with the whole hand at first, and then finding a spot to gaze at and releasing some of that pressure, or maybe touching, letting go, touching, letting go. Work on your balance to try to see if you can hold a little bit more and a little bit more. We'll begin by grounding through the right foot, because we just balanced on the left, I think. So we're going to start by balancing on our right. Hands, if you're not using it on something to balance, can be at heart center or on the hips, whatever you're comfortable with. And the left leg lifts for half leg balance. If you're working on your balance, you can keep the toes close to the ground. If you want to lift them up a little higher, you can come all the way up so that your leg is parallel to the ground. Keeping the belly tight, finding a spot to gaze at on the ground will help. I'm going to do 10 more seconds. And release. All right. If you need to shake it out, you can do so. My hips are feeling pretty tight. So take a deep breath. Find your focus. Lift the right leg. Keeping the belly tight, finding a spot on the floor to gaze at. More seconds. Let's come back to our mats, and we'll make sure that we've got a block handy. Take a very gentle cool down. Your hard work is over. Just a few gentle poses left. With the block nearby, we're going to begin by reaching the arms forward and slowly lowering the back down to the mat, letting the head rest. Taking a moment to take a couple breaths. Begin to relax. And then bring your feet closer into the hips. Taking hold of your block. Inhale as you press through the heels, lifting the hips up and placing the block under your low back, right at your sacrum, and then allowing the body to relax down onto the block. Closing the eyes and allowing this gentle inversion and back bend to help improve your circulatory system as you bring all of the major muscle groups up above the heart. Letting the back have some gentle decompression as you rest on the block. Taking deep inhale, expanding our ribs. Coming back to the present, coming back to your breath. Press the heels down into your mat as you slowly lift the hips just enough to pull the block out and relax the hips back down to your mat. Bringing the knees in for happy baby pose. Taking hold of the lower legs, the ankles, or the feet. Drawing the knees closer to the armpits, eventually allowing the feet to be above the knees. Encouraging the low back onto the mat. And gently rock from side to side, using the pressure of the ground underneath you to massage the low back. Release. Bringing the feet down to the mat. Knees bent. And then bring your right ankle over the left knee. If this is a good stretch for you tonight, you're welcome to stay here. Otherwise, bring the right arm through the legs, lifting the left leg off the ground, and taking hold of or interlacing the fingers behind the left thigh. Or if you have extra mobility in your hips, feel free to bring the hands to the front of the left shin instead. head and chest up, bringing the body a little closer to the legs. And release both feet down to the mat. Allow the knees to sway from side to side a couple times, releasing any tension in the low back. And then come to a still spot before bringing the left ankle over the right knee. And again, if this is enough for your stretch tonight, you can stay here. Otherwise, lift the right leg, bringing the hands to the back of the right thigh, or possibly even to the front of the shin on the right. Feeling the stretch on the back of the left thigh, maybe even in the front of the hip, or on the side. Lift the head and chest up, bringing the body a little closer to the legs. And release. Let the knees sway from side to side. If there are any other small movements that you would like to do, you can do them now. Otherwise, you can start settling into your Shavasana. If your low back or your legs are a little bit sore and keeping them straight out is uncomfortable, you can place your block, one of each, underneath the knees to allow them to be bent slightly. Otherwise, the legs are out straight, allowing them to roll open naturally. And the arms are resting by the sides, with palms facing up. We bring that rotation into our shoulders, allowing our shoulder blades to more comfortably sit flat underneath our back. Let go of any remaining tensions that you're holding on to. Bring a softness into your face, relaxing your brow. Letting the eyes relax. Unclenching the jaw. Letting the tongue fall from the roof of the mouth. Letting the shoulders and arms fully relax. The hips and legs feel fully supported. As you move from your toes up the legs into the body, feel a sense of weightlessness. Let the mat feel like it's falling away from you, as if you could float up into the clouds. full of all the love and compassion that you contain. And let that light grow. Allow it to fill every cell of your being. And then let it overflow, spilling out of your fingertips and toes. Letting it spread from your hair and your nose. And let that light reach everyone that you care about. And allow yourself to be completely free for the next few moments. Wiggle your toes and fingertips, bringing your awareness back into your body. And then reach up overhead, stretching from fingertips to toes. Slowly begin to bring your knees into your chest, and then hug them in as you roll to one side. Using this moment to appreciate all of your efforts and accomplishments today. And then press up from the side into a seated position. Inhale to reach all the way up. And then exhale, give yourself a hug. The light in me honors and respects the light in all of you. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Namaste. Thank you.
Knows I can sit.
Yeah. We all need a nice, gentle but challenging class after this weekend.
Yes, indeed. Good, though.
Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Yeah, thanks for a good class.
Yep. We will see you Thursday.
Yes, indeed. We'll be
Okey-doke.
here.
All right.
Yeah.
Goodbye.